Welcome everyone to the first episode. I Think I Love You. Thank you so much for listening. Appreciate it a whole lot. They say that we learn a lot from our mistakes, and one of the biggest mistakes I had in my life was my past relationship. And I didn't know how to deal with the breakup. I didn't know how to deal with the things I was doing wrong in my relationship. So I decided to start this podcast so people can learn from other people's mistakes, whether they're single, whether they're struggling through their own breakup, whether they're doing good in their own relationship. I interview people that got personal stories to share about all that stuff, about what the do's and don'ts are in their own lives. And yeah, so if you ever want to be a part of one of my episodes, please send me an email at loverboylos92@gmail.com, or you can send me a message on any of my social media pages. Instagram is loverboylos. Twitter is loverboyloso, and Facebook page is I Think I Love You. So go on, follow those pages, send me a message, tell me what you think about the show. Honestly, tell me if you like it, tell me if it sucks. But hey, any feedback is great feedback to me. So go on, enjoy the first episode, and stay tuned.
Welcome to I Think I Love You, where we keep it real with your past, current, and future relationships. With your host, Loverboy Los.
Welcome to another episode on I Think I Love You with Loverboy Los. I'm your host, Loverboy Los, and today I got a very special guest to me. She has a lot of knowledge to all them youngins out here. That's why she's always telling me all this stuff. I'm going to let her introduce herself to everyone else.
Hey, listeners, I'm Mahogany. I am Carlos's angel and devil on his shoulder. I tell him what to do when it's great and what to do when it's bad when it comes to relationships, but I'm not sure that he's listening to me right now.
I always heed your advice. I play it off a bit, because look, my listeners know I went through a tough breakup. You know I went through a tough breakup, and that's why I wanted to bring you on this, because you were one of the first people I actually opened up to about my breakup, and I actually liked your advice, and I think my listeners will actually like to listen to what you had to tell me when I told you about what I was going through.
My advice is that you should play around. You're young, Carlos, and that's the thing is that when we're young, we're like, oh, we have to fall in love. We have to go to college. We have to find the person that we're going to marry, that kind of thing. That's all BS. Like, that is the dumbest thing anyone could ever do, is just settle down in their 20s. 20s are all about screwing up and playing and finding out who you are, finding out who you like. I do not like the people that I knew in my 20s. So why would I get into a long-term relationship with them? So when I'm 45, I can look back and say, they suck, or I don't like anything about them. Some people grow and they mature and they have relationships that last, from their teens until they're 90 and 100 years old.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen often. So go play. Go play.
So when you were playing around, you didn't get attached to anyone?
You do get attached, and that is fine. There are people that I did get attached to. There are people that wanted to marry me, and I did for a moment, and then I clicked back into reality. Like, it's just not realistic for us to keep a relationship going. I'm so young. I don't know what I want to do with my life. A lot of the
Can I ask you how old you were at that time?
There's been a few times. So when I was the first relationship, this guy it was like whirlwind, and he just wanted me to marry him right away. He bought me a car. I was still in college. I might have been 20.
He bought you a car?
Yeah. But it was a setup. It was a setup. It was a setup to get my young butt to marry him and to, take on all these responsibilities, barefoot and pregnant.
I feel like he was a little bit older.
Yeah, he was older. I wasn't,
Find your new sugar daddy.
Wasn't my sugar daddy. He wasn't that old, but he was in his 30s, and I was, I think I was maybe 20, maybe 21. And he wanted me, as soon as I graduated from college, to move back and get married. Like, he wanted to get married the day after I graduated and, like, have a baby like the day after that, No, sir. And, wow. So there have been those kinds of things, I guess. And, then when I was probably about 23, happened again. So I just jumped away and moved to New York so I can escape, having to commit to one person.
So you thought New York was like more acceptable? Like,
no, it was the fact that he wasn't in New York, so I could start over, and I could use that as an excuse to say, hey, we can't be together because I'm in New York. Mm-hmm. I've been running all my life. My husband caught me. Like, he finally, he finally got me. But like I said, you do get attached, and you do find people that you think you should spend the rest of your life with. But thank God I had wake up calls. Like, I found the little bad things about them and got away.
What were some of those bad things that you saw about, like, your exes or the guys?
Well, the first one, to be completely honest, the reason why he was doing all these things and buying cars and whatever is because he was gonna get locked up for something. I don't know. He wanted me to have power of attorney, and he thought, like, this young girl, dumb, wouldn't, like, squander all his money or something, whatever. He didn't know me very well, because if you would have given me power of attorney over anything, I would have taken all your stuff and gone away to New York and whatever. So that was the first thing. Yeah. I just saw that he was moving too fast. So that was me getting out of that one. The other one,
too fast.
Just slow down.
That's what I learned with
Yeah. But so, and then with others, it would be just the second one, just he was not stable. He was very, and I wasn't stable either, but, getting your phone cut off and doing all, he went from being an engineer to starting his own business.
Mm-hmm. Damn, that's a big jump.
Yeah. So when you start your own business, you don't have funds coming in at all times or whatever. So your phone gets cut off and your tires are flat, so who's gonna go get you new tires? I had to deal with that. So I was
do you feel like that was like kind of more stress on your part, just having someone in that situation?
I don't allow myself to get stressed out. I thought it was funnier than it was stressful. So that was just me. Like, that was a great point where I was like, peace, I gotta go. Like, I believe in struggle in some parts, but I'm too young. Like, there was no need for me to stay and struggle with him when I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life. So
I see that, because me and my ex were kind of dealing with the same stuff. My car get broken down, I'll be calling her to pick me up, and now I see it from your point of view. Like, kind of would suck to be in that position too.
Absolutely. Like, you got to get your life together. Maybe I can help you from far away, but we don't have to both struggle together. And that might suck. I mean, that sounds really, really bad. I can't just be here while you flipping fries and flipping burgers and doing all that. I'm trying to get my life together too. Like, we can't both be struggling at the same time. I admire people that do that. Yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, just saying it's not for me.
Yeah, or not for everyone
not
too.
For everyone. Right.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like that. And I think women might want someone that's resourceful too, and might have their shit together, as a lot of people.
Yes, absolutely. Get your stuff together. And it's not to say that you have to be all the way together because I know a lot of guys will be like, well, I can't approach this girl because she has everything together and she has it all right. And she's a great catch. So I can't approach her.
Exactly. That's how I feel sometimes. Like, damn, this girl's got like money.
No, as long as
she got a master's degree.
See, as long as you have a plan and you're not struggling and how to deal with your finances and that kind of thing, you are, you're just as good as a catch as she is, everything doesn't have to be about money.
Yeah.
Sometimes we make it all about money, but if you show persistence and you show up and you show creativity, there's a whole lot of ways that I don't have to know that you ain't balling or you don't have it all together with your job or, whatever. But don't look at other people and be like, can't have her, because that girl's probably looking at you like, damn, why won't he talk to me,
Yeah. Damn. So what's like some of the other things that you learned from your past relationships then on like your red flags or the things you just can't deal with?
I used to date a type of man, like I can't say they were physically the same or anything like that, but I used to date men of means, I will say. I learned that it kind of set me back. I wasn't necessarily looking for that, but I stayed in that circle. So I always met men of means, and I wasn't really pushing myself to get money or to get resources or get my finances together, or get my credit together or do anything like that, because I always had some man with money. Not necessarily my sugar daddy who wasn't taking care of me or doing anything like that. But if I got married, I would not have to worry about anything. Because
someone that's stable, right?
I would have somebody that's stable. But I wasn't. Like, I was all over the board. Like, I worked all part-time jobs because I wanted to just travel the world and pick up at a drop of a dime.
Yeah.
I wasn't saving any money. I was terrible at money. When I did get some extra money, I was either on a trip or I was buying shoes or something like that. It was just ridiculous. All because I knew that I was probably going to marry somebody rich. So I did not have to have the credit. I didn't have to do anything like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it came from. And thank God it did finally come that, you are dealing with buttholes. Like, seriously, like some of them are just annoying, or they call you all the time, or you deal with all this. And it's probably not because they're like the best people in the world.
Yeah.
It's probably because what they can do for you, right? So finally, once I started getting myself together and saving money and learning about money and all that thing, the people that came into my life were different, and were better. And it wasn't just about what they could give, what they could bring financially. It was about more what's in their heart, what's in their head.
Like good guys.
Good, really, really good guys. And I'm not saying the people that had money weren't good guys. Yeah. But you can sure get blinded by, you know what I'm saying? You can definitely get blinded by that.
I think it goes same for guys too. When we see like a pretty attractive girl in this, like we don't really see what's on the inside after.
Yep. And you figure out, like, after spending months with them, you're like, they're like the ditziest person you could ever, imagine. And you just wasted 5 months of your life because she was cute, Yeah. Cute does not last long when you move in with someone and, ooh, Lord. And then everything that they do annoys you, Like, they don't leave the toilet paper the way you need it, or they leave toothpaste all around the sink or something like that. So you have to, once you get into a deep relationship, you have to really like that person and not just like their looks.
Damn. So what would you say did you have fun when you were dating in your 20s? Because I know there's a lot of people that don't would jump in a relationship just because they don't want to be single, or it's terrifying for people to be single.
Oh yeah. I've never been the I don't want to be alone girl.
Yeah.
I dated a lot. I had a lot of fun. Went on a lot of dates. I met a lot of people, and I would not take it back for anything because I know so many different type of people. Now I know exactly what I want, Thank God for my husband having a little bit of everything that I wanted, right? So yeah, I had an amazing
and that's like
time.
You learned, because you dated.
Because I dated around, If I would have just picked one person because of one or two good qualities, I'd probably be up and divorced and crazy with like 6 kids by myself in a corner somewhere. But thank God that I did date, and had a good old time with it. I mean, there's some times where I was like, oh gosh, this is the worst. And I would rather just sit in my house and just not doing anything. But there were some times where my thing was I long distance dated a lot. Because I had a fear of commitment. And that's okay.
That was your way of dealing with it?
That was my way of dealing with it. Like, if they're not here all the time, I'm good. So I would get on the plane and I would go see them and I would come back home and do my work and, you know, have a good week. And then on the weekend, I'd go out and see them again. And that was okay for me. That was good enough.
That's crazy.
It's looking back on it now. It's like, I know now that I had a commitment issue because having someone in your face all the time is a lot to deal with for someone like me. So I have to get used to your personality and your quirks and all that. When you have basically like a weekend love, you know, all the good things happen over the weekend, or you know, everything is fun and everything is great. You know,
I think that actually helped you out too, because you won't see that person often. So when you do see them, it's like, oh, like almost like the first time you're meeting them again.
Yeah. It's like, hey, let's start all over. Like, hey, this is fun. It's a honeymoon phase all the time, basically. Yeah. Until they do something stupid. So there's that.
Well, I think it's because like people gotta actually appreciate their lover like that too all the time. I was reading something that if you don't, that you should look at your lover kind of like if you found like a precious gem or something like that, or like found a lottery ticket. Like that's how you should wake up to that person.
Yeah, but that's not realistic. Like, I'm not, you know, I don't look over at my husband and I'm like, oh, you're my gem every morning. Oh, you know, like, you know, no. But you should. No,
but I get your point though, because
cherish every little part of your partner, and sometimes we don't. Like, we seriously take for granted who they are as a person, and especially when, you know, you've been with them for a long time. You lose that spark and you take for granted and you think there's something better or greater. And there's not usually. It's not. It's just that you got to work on yours. Like, you know, the saying, the grass is not always greener. Their grass is the same as yours. It's probably dirt. There's dirt under their side and all that stuff. But they've watered it and made it beautiful. So you got to do the same thing on your side of the lawn. Make it, work on it, make it beautiful, plant flowers, do whatever. You just keep working, you know? So that's what relationships are about.
Just put it in the work.
Put it in the work.
Man, so you don't feel like at this time, because like your generation of dating was probably different than my generation, that we're more, I guess, based on looks, because we got all our apps. We got Tinder, we got Bumble, whatever. And we don't really get to meet the person. It's just, do I like your picture or not?
Well, see, this is what they don't tell you, is back in the day, I'm in the generation high school where AOL came out. And so we had chat rooms on AOL, and we chatted and we got to know the people personally. And then all of a sudden they implemented pictures, like, you know, so you can send a picture.
It's all grainy and stuff.
Yeah, you know, they were all right. And so you knew what they looked like. But the beginning of it was personality and that kind of thing. And then we're the first ones that got started sending people pictures and, you know, saying this is what I look like. And I would walk down. I remember talking to people online and, you know, sending pictures back and forth, and they would pick me out, and I would be in the city and they'd be like, hey, Mahogany. And I'd be like, oh shit, let me run. Like, like, oh my gosh. I would like not say anything. I remember, you know, when I went to school in Atlanta, some people would some guys would call my name and I'd be like, oh my gosh, they could be crazy. I don't know. I'm not turning around, you know, but they would notice you. So that was, you know, just to make myself feel old. So we've had the same thing, you know, it's always been, superficial.
Yeah. That's the word I was looking for.
But with a touch we know that personality was probably key. Now everybody is freaking all Instagram hotties, and that's all everybody wants, you know?
Yeah.
But you got to be realistic. That probably isn't the best road to go.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know you traveled a lot of different cities, but something about LA, to me, this is what some people always tell me, dating in LA is no other place than dating in other cities. It's kind of different. Maybe it's like because it's Hollywood and people are trying to like show off, or they trying to think they're too good, or like how's your experience like living over here versus other cities?
It's the worst. You know, I tell my friends, like, do you know how many married people do you know in LA, like friends of yours? Mm-hmm. It's the worst city for dating. This is why. Is because people are transplants. Yeah. So they come here and they become a totally different person. Uh-huh. So they come here from Ohio, where they were, you know, sweet little cute little country girl or sweet little cute little country boy, and they come here and they make an entirely different persona and become an entirely different person. So you're not meeting the true person that they are. Everybody is basically coming to, you know, bring their whole little new representative that they made up. And, you know, it's your job to break down and see the truth in them. Uh-huh. So that's the issue with dating in LA. And when you can find someone who hasn't remarketed or rebranded themselves, then, you know, things will work out. Mm-hmm. And that's the fight and the search that you're going to have to go through here in LA.
That's an interesting perspective. I never heard it like that. I always thought girls are trying to be, I guess, well, like you said, trying to be an actress or trying to be a singer out here, you know, and just trying to make it in marketing or something like that. Mm-hmm.
That's basically what it is. It's just that we have changed who we are. I mean, you go back to their hometown and they're a completely different person, or you see their yearbook picture and you're like, okay, who is that? You know, they're different people. They've made themselves an entirely different brand, and you have to break those walls down or not.
Was that your experience in other cities too, or just found that here?
Just LA. New York is just a fast-paced dating lifestyle. Nobody is settling down. Nobody's committing to each other. In Atlanta, you're just recycling. Everybody dates everybody. You recycle. So those were my experiences in those cities. But in LA, it's just everybody I think everybody presents themselves with a resume first. Like, exactly. That's like, before you know their name, you know what they've done and what they do. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, what's your name?
I'm a big shot producer and all this stuff. Like,
right. I don't want to know what you do. Like, don't come to me and say, hey, yo, I'm a producer, or, you know, I just did this film, you know. I'm sorry, who are you? Like, what are we talking about? And, you know, so that was the biggest turnoff in LA, is that they run down their resume first and their name is the last thing you ever get. Mm-hmm.
So would you say like approaching girls would be more, I guess in your way, kind of like we should show our personality more instead of being... If I was
a man in LA, I'd be scared to pieces, first of all.
Doesn't give us much hope.
I'm sorry. I would be so scared to date, because I've just seen how women are like, oh my gosh, did you see his shoes? Oh my gosh, why is he coming over here? And then they complain about like not having a date or not having anybody that's interested in them. Well, you just shot down every man that came over. Or every man that you see, you find something wrong with him. So as a man, to approach a woman, I honestly could not tell a man how to do it. Like, I'd be so scared and so rigid when it comes to women, because of the rejection factor, you know? Yeah. I've just seen it time and time again, and women here are absolutely mean, you know? Like, You just got to wait until they've had a few drinks and then go approach them, and then maybe things will be better. But my thing is always be genuine. You're going to approach, just, hi, my name is, I'd love to, chat with you if you have a second or whatever, but just nothing, nothing crazy like, hey, you want to go take a ride in my Rolls Royce? Like,
like, damn, girl, like, I think you're pretty fine. Like, all that.
Damn, girl, how you get all that in that skirt? Like just dumb stuff that people hear. Like, we don't want to hear that. Just, hey, what's your name? Where are you from? And then one thing that LA people do, LA men, the first they approach with, hey, what's your ethnicity? Or, hey, what do you mix with?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you want to know my name? Like, don't do that. Stop it. It's dumb. Like that's going to have any bearing on anything that we do from here on out. So don't do that. Please. Nobody.
There
Ever.
you go. Tips. Y'all listen to tips over here.
Yeah.
So when you were dating, were you ever fearful that you weren't ever going to get married or find quote unquote the one?
Yeah.
And all that?
I wasn't fearful. I had come to the conclusion that I would be okay with never being married.
Okay. That seems like a good acceptance.
Yes, and I tell my girlfriends all the time that with their standards, and I'm not saying don't have high standards, but some of this stuff is just ridiculous, And if you are gung ho about it, and your list is sealed, that list that you have is sealed, then you need to accept the fact that you may never get married.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you need to revise and open up your list and just look at all different types of men. Mm-hmm. Because 9 times out of 10, that whole list is not going to be fulfilled,
Yeah.
So, like I said, I was okay. My girlfriends are not. So you got to open up your list and change some things, or you're going to be really sad and alone.
And then how did you come up with that conclusion that you'll be okay with not getting married? Was that something that took you a while to accept, or was that like,
no, you know what? I think that's part of my commitment issues and that kind of thing. I wasn't really a big fan of commitment. I come from a 2-parent home. Mm-hmm. My friends have 2-parent homes. I know that marriage is difficult.
Yeah.
I wasn't really trying to work. It's a lot of work. So I was okay with the fact that I might never get married. And if that happened, that's fine. I could be in relationships. I could have a long-term relationship. That's fine. But I didn't necessarily need to be married until I met my husband.
Okay.
Until I met him. I was like, okay, I can spend the rest of my life with him.
And what changed for you when you met him? Like, what was so different about this particular person versus all the other people that you've seen before?
He is the most giving and understanding and open person. Like, he was not judgmental. I felt, a lot of the relationships that I've been in or people that I've dated, I didn't feel judged by them necessarily, but their surroundings or the people who surrounded them. So, with him, it was just easy. It was smooth. He listened. Great listener. Like, if there was something that I needed, like I could just be talking about something and he would make it happen. Okay. I needed to move some stuff and, pick up some furniture or whatever. He was like, I'll just rent a car and we'll do it. And I rent a truck and we'll do it. I'm like, I'm not asking you. I'm just, running down my to-do list, But he paid attention to those kinds of things and he made them happen. He was a go-getter. He just made everything happen, and it was easy and seamless, and I didn't have to beg. I didn't have to ask. it just, made complete sense. And then my husband, I put him in the friend zone completely. Like he was not,
right away.
he's not my type. Like I didn't have a type, but he just was not, he's the male version of me. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there is no way I'm going to put up with someone like me. We eat the same. He doesn't eat meat. Both of our families live in Tampa. Like, it's just, there were so many things that were like the same.
Similar, yeah.
We are both smart Alex, and our first date, we couldn't get anything serious out because we were just back and forth bantering, And so I was like, heck no, we cannot be together because it's like dating myself.
Yeah.
But I came around, it's like a light bulb went off, like, you're dumb if you let this guy go, basically, because he's exactly what you need. And now that I, sit back, it's like, he is everything that I need. And so I made a good decision.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
How long did it take you to get that light bulb off of you then?
Ooh, gosh.
Because I know a lot of people just rush in a relationship. I done this with my ex, damn, 1 month and I'm already calling you my girlfriend.
Oh,
That was it.
So, probably like 4 or 5 months. It took
okay.
me, yeah. He was trying to plan something for my birthday, and I was like, okay, I'll let him. And then he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I cried.
Hold up. Were you dating other people too in that 4 to 5 months, or was it just exclusively him? Because I know in that period before you call each other boyfriend, girlfriend, it's like it's that like gray zone, or it's like you can keep dating, but it's not really appropriate, or it depends on people's point of views on it.
I was not physically dating anyone for like the last couple of months before he asked me to be his girlfriend. I actually wasn't physically dating anybody. Like, I didn't go out, but I did talk to people on the phone for the like the first 2 months after we met, 2 or 3 months. And it wasn't because I was trying to be exclusive or anything like that. I just didn't feel like it. It's a lot, to try to
date multiple people.
I'm
the worst at that.
So, yeah, I used to be pretty good at it, but when you get older, you're just like, oh, whatever. I don't feel like it. So no, I wasn't like juggling anything with him. But I just wasn't sure that I wanted to commit, myself. And the reason why, when he asked me to be his girlfriend, that I cried is because I knew that if I was his girlfriend, that would be the last man that I've ever dated. Like, I knew that I was going to marry him. Yeah. I knew that he would be the one. If I said yes to being his girlfriend, I knew that this was going to go into marriage.
What was he doing when you cried? Was it like, I would have felt bad. It's like, did I do something?
I don't think I cried in front of him.
Oh, okay.
I cried to my girlfriend, like, he asked me to be his girlfriend. Why? And I waited like 3 days, and then I told him. Okay.
Oh, you made him wait too?
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, that would have messed me up.
Yeah, I messed him up. He talks about it all the time now, but yeah, I made him wait. I wasn't ready, and I had to talk it out to everybody and see. But I knew that it would be the dumbest thing I could have ever done to just let him go.
And now, since you are married, like, what's been the most challenging thing and rewarding thing about being married to this man?
The most challenging thing is just getting over each other's quirks and, dealing with just the little things that men or your partner can do to annoy the heck out of you. And so that's the most challenging thing, because you have to deal with them every day, and so the things that you're not used to when you're by yourself, you're living by yourself, and you're like, hey, can you put my sheets back this way or whatever? So you have to get over those those little things. But the most rewarding thing is that I have a partner that stands by me and supports me and is there for me in any time of need. And even the fun time, just I have a partner. I have a true partner in life, and we have adventures together, and we've seen the world together, and it's just amazing to just to look at him and be like, damn, he's my partner in crime for forever.
Yeah,
it's great.
See, I mean, I love marriage and all that, and I think it's great. It's just my thing is that I'm kind of like you. I'm like, the commitment issue is like, damn, I have to be with you for the rest of my life. Like, yeah, that's kind of scary.
That's why I told you to wait until you're 35, and then it's either get married now and you're under 30, and then you got a long time to go. You're over 35. You don't have that much time to have to spend with one person.
Yeah.
Just take your time, have fun.
Yeah, because like once you're only 25 once, and then if you, I guess, meet multiple girls and you have fun, and then it's like I won't have that regret. Like, oh, what if I could have met like all these other girls? Or like,
what if I could have had fun and escaped with one, and then got over her and gone to another two, and it's just you don't want any regrets,
Yeah.
But in the meantime, if somebody comes along and they're the best thing since sliced bread, then you don't let them go either.
Now, my listeners don't know, but you're going to be a future mom.
I'm going to be a mommy, yes.
And has that changed anything in your relationship? Has it grown the bond deeper?
Yeah, it makes you much closer because, he's at all my appointments, and he stays on top of everything that I need. I mean, my husband is quite a different one. Like my husband picks out my vitamins. He, makes sure I drink all my water. He's just like on it. Like and he's just amazing with me. If I'm up in the middle of the night, he goes and gets my Tums and makes sure everything I need is right by the bedside. And if I need a bottle of water at 2:00 in the morning, he's like, let me run to the store. Like whatever I need, he's just there. And it's just made him that much more attractive, that much more, endearing to me. So I'm like, that's my baby. I love every bit of this road we're on together in this journey. And I could not imagine doing it with anyone else at all. So it's brought us a lot closer.
So because I know kind of test within couples is that they've gone through something, I guess, not traumatic in a sense, but very challenging with one another. I just want to know if you guys ever had like one challenging thing that both of you guys been through and you guys both came out of it, and like what you guys learned from each other, like whether it was from, I don't know, with me, like my ex went through a car accident. I wasn't really there for when it happened, and that kind of like probably set us back relationship wise.
My husband, he had always wanted to be in law enforcement. And like I said, I came from like this glamorous lifestyle, and law enforcement is not the glamorous, type. So he was in sales before, and I couldn't get over. I was pushing like, oh, you should do this type of sales, or you should do this, where I'm thinking, they make millions and, cops don't, what I'm saying? So, but he wanted to be in law enforcement. And I think it took me a long time to like just get over the fact that, that my glamorous lifestyle that I was looking for was not conducive to our relationship, you know? And so, he got a call from an agency And he had applied like 4 years earlier. So it wasn't like, something. And they were like, we're going to do a series of background tests or whatever, but you have to go to the academy. And you have to leave for, I think it was about 6 months.
Okay.
And he was scared because if you don't pass the academy, you basically lose out on a job, and you would have to leave your job that you had. Mm-hmm. And it took a lot for me to see, but it was the joy in his heart when he talked about law enforcement. And I finally came to the conclusion that, I'll support you. I was like, if you don't pass the academy, I got a great savings. We're good for however long it takes for you to find another job. And it was rough. He was gone for 6 months, but we figured it out.
Stuff.
Yeah.
You're used to that.
So, we did figure it out. It was hard for him. It actually was hard for me. Like, I thought that, I would be okay, cool with it or whatever. But
was this when you guys were married too?
This was right before, we got got engaged. So, it was rough, but, we did it, and he passed, and he's doing really well. And, we made it through that little bumpy stage, and, everything is all good, but it's rough when you're not sure what your future is going to be. And when, I have to put my little desires for millions on the back burner.
What was the one defining moment for you when you realized, like, damn, I really have to stay with this person? Or was it just like a collective of things for you?
I think the main thing was he was there for me. And you know what? It was, like I said, there was one time I was talking on the phone to like 2 millionaires, basically. And I was telling them they were asking me what I was doing that weekend. I told them I was picking up, some furniture, and I was redecorating my house, and I had to do this and I had to do that. Nobody offered to do anything, not send $5, not do anything. And then I talked to my husband, and he was like I said, he's like, oh, let me go rent a truck, and then I'll come pick you up, and we'll go get this, and then we'll go to dinner, and everything. And I'm like, huh? Like, these guys with all this money have spent nothing. And this guy with, nothing but a big heart, decided to do all that. And that was when my wake up call and all my blinders and all my superficial everything just washed away, and I realized that they could take care of me in one way, but he could take care of me in the way that I really needed it. And, I was like, that's my boo.
That's it.
That's him. Yeah. So from that day on, we've been inseparable.
Your husband gives good guys like me high hopes.
Yeah. The good guy will win out.
Well, thank you a lot, Mahogany, for doing this. I want to ask you, is there any final advice that you want to give my listeners, to all the single people out there or the people in a relationship?
If you are single, explore as much as you can before you lock yourself into some crazy mess of a relationship. If you are in a committed relationship, just make sure you know that person. There's so many things that come up later on. We don't present our complete and honest self. We like I said, we present our representative at first. So make sure that the person that they are presenting themselves as is a true representation of who they are. Mm-hmm. Because it sucked to find out 10 years later that you married or are in a relationship or had a child with a fraud.
That's some great advice.
Be careful.
Well, I know you do your traveling stuff, so I don't know if you want to shout it out.
Sure. I'm on, you can catch me at dealduchess.com or Deal Duchess on Facebook. And I teach people how to travel luxuriously on a budget. So that's www.dealduchess.com or Deal Duchess on Facebook and Instagram. And yeah.
Please follow that because it will save you so much money. I got burned on a Chicago flight that she was very upset with me on. So
Yeah, check with me before you buy flights.
$400 down the drain. Probably could have been $200.
Oh my gosh.
That's okay.
That's 2 flights.
Well, thank you, Mahogany. Follow me on iTunes, SoundCloud. I Think I Love You with Loverboy Lowe's. We're only going to get more amazing guests, so please follow us. You're going to want this advice. Thank you all. Please send in any questions if you have any. Peace. That was the first episode. I Think I Love You. Thank you so much for tuning in. As you can hear, Mahogany has a lot of great stuff to say. And follow her Deal Duchess page too, because like I said, I got burned on one of the flights. So make sure you follow that if you want to save money on your flights. And yeah, we're going to have a whole bunch of great guests every week. Come on, listen. Dropping every Monday, weekly. So come on, share. Tell me what you think. Loverboylos92@gmail.com, or just send me a message on any of my Facebook or Twitter or Instagram pages. Instagram, Loverboylos. Twitter, Loverboyloso. And Facebook, I Think I Love You. So come on, listen. Keep joining the cousin. Keep joining the cousin. Keep joining the cousin. Keep joining the cousin.